So as I've mentioned in previous videos, it appears as though at the end of Resident Evil 4 Remake, Ada Wong is headed for a new character arc where it seems as though Capcom is going to be switching up her character from, instead of being the spy that works for organizations and collects samples for them, she's going to be going through a more of a redemption type of arc and maybe fighting against those organizations alongside characters like Leon, Chris, Jill, etc. Or at least that's what I got from that ending, because as I've mentioned before, her betrayal of Wesker seemed to be sudden rather than planned like it was in the original RE4, and she doesn't seem like she's working for another organization like she was in the original RE4 either. So that kind of leads me to believe that the influence that Leon has had on her is beginning to shape her character into a new arc. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what sort of development they're going to have for Ada moving forward in a potential Resident Evil 6 and onward. It's going to be really interesting to see. And then something that I got to thinking about is, could we potentially see Ada with a partner? Because most of the time she works alone, and the only time that she's really working with someone else is in rare examples with like Luis or Leon, and that's only every so often. Most of the time she's a solo player, but could we see her in maybe a Resident Evil 6 remake actually have a partner? And could that partner be none other than the helicopter pilot that picks her up at the end of Resident Evil 4? What if once she decides to betray Wesker and force the pilot to take a different course of direction, the pilot just decides to join her in whatever crusade she's going on now and whatever her new goal is, and joins her? And then what if this helicopter pilot actually becomes a canon version of the agent from Resident Evil 6? Because in Resident Evil 6, Ada's campaign did not actually have a partner in the main story. There was the agent character, but that character only existed for co-op purposes. He was never shown in the story or anything like that. He had no relevance to the plot. But what if in a potential Resident Evil 6 remake, the agent character actually did become relevant, became canon, and was in cutscenes and things like that, and it was none other than the helicopter pilot from Resident Evil 4? I think that'd be a really cool idea if Capcom wanted to go in that direction, because for one, by doing that, they would further connect Resident Evil 4 with Resident Evil 6, and that's something that these remakes are trying to do, is connect the games more closely together. So by having the pilot from RE4 become the agent in Resident Evil 6, that would just connect them further. So I think that'd be really cool. And then on top of that, it would just be cool to see the agent become an actual character and not just a co-op tool. To see the character in cutscenes and to actually have interaction and things like that, I think that'd be really interesting. And this character wouldn't have to be like front and center or anything. It could be a behind the scenes type of character that really kind of stays in the shadows and only really communicates with Ada for the most part, while Ada is the one who kind of goes front and center and communicates with people like Leon and Helena. But I just think that'd be a really cool thing to see. And then, because the agent isn't like a major character, like I said in the original, the agent wasn't even a character, it was just a co-op tool. They could have it where the agent gets killed in Resident Evil 6. So you would have Pierce get killed in Chris's campaign, and then in Ada's campaign, maybe the agent gets killed during the Carla boss fight. And then once he ends up dying, Ada kills Carla, escapes, and then goes off to aid Leon and Helena against Simmons. So you could do something like that, and it would give another character a death in Resident Evil 6, considering so much crazy stuff happens. It's kind of funny to think that only one character falls, and that's Pierce. So by doing that, you would bring in another character that falls at the end of their campaign. So I think something like that would be really cool to see. But what are your thoughts? Would you like to see the helicopter pilot from Resident Evil 4 become a canon version of the agent from Resident Evil 6? Or do you like it more so that Ada just remains a solo character and she doesn't have a partner? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, and I shall see you all on the next one. See you then.